صار لي فترة طويلة ما مسكت المايك ولا مسكت التسجيل ولا مسكت أي حاجة. وسامح برضو ما هو مشتاق لي وقاعد يعطيني نظرة أخلص علي يعني واي جايبك حتى بداية النهار مو زي المرة اللي فاتت الساعة 1 بالليل
الساعة 8 7 الليل بداية النهار.
أيوة كده بداية النهار.
عندك تايم كومباس أنت؟
لا معلش يعني we are the creatures of the night.
واو جايز
وانت ايش؟
we are the creatures of the night يعني خلاص اول ما بتغيب الشمس احنا بنبدا دوامنا هنا.
والله وحشتني.
والله لك وحشه حبيبي، مع انه انا شايفك قبل اسبوعين وماكلين سمك بس برضو مشتاق لك يا اخي. يعني بعدك كده عني
لما اكل سمك ما حطالع مين معايا سمك.
الله.
مين لا يكون معايا ما حطالع فيه. فانت هلا ضيفي اول لا.
انت على فكره انت بالاول كنت ضيف بالحلقه بس خلاص يعني I'm recruiting
بيتي
بالضبط. معكم ايس من بودكاست ستيل شاوت. it's been a little long time يعني صار لي فتره كده ما سجلت. طبعا انا انشغلت الفتره اللي فاتت نقله البيت نقله ثانيه في العمل الاخ انشغلت بالحياه شويتين. وهي رجعت الحين اسجل الحلقه. الموضوع it will be mainly about the society أو community تبع الميتالهيدز. يعني أنا حسيت إنه هذا الموضوع كان مفروض أتكلم فيه من البداية، لكن قلت أبغى أسلط الضوء الحين عليه. يعني قلت أبغى ناس يجوا يسجلوا معايا. معايا سامح طبعا غني عن التعريف، سجل معايا حلقة سميتها The Black Feather اللي هي سجلناها الساعة 1 بالليل. والله سهرتك صباحي هذاك اليوم.
مشكلة أصلا الكلام اللي بعد الحلقة طول أصلا كمان يعني ما قفلنا.
يعني
والحلقة قصقصنا منها.
قص من كلجاتي بس خليت كلجاتك موجودة يعني just for the record يعني. ومعايا كمان ضيف يعني أنا this is the second time يعني I meet him يعني. فأنا قابلته برضو على نفس عزومة السمك تبعت سامح يعني. فعبد الله أهلا وسهلا فيك.
هلا والله. Thanks for having me.
يعني it's pleasure meeting you. كده اتكلم شوي عن نفسك يعني عرف نفسك الاسم الأمور what would you gonna do يعني how you get into metal music and that يعني. تارك لك المايك شويتين.
Wow you ask a lot of questions there.
لا يعني كده عارف كده يعني تعريف عن نفسك بسيط.
Hi guys, my name's الله الحسيني. When did I start listening to metal music? Since age 12.
قرب شوي على المايك بس.
Yeah. Since age 12. First band I ever listened to was Metallica, and I bumped into them by accident. And it was the days. Remember the colored iPods?
أيوة.
Yeah, with the one with the white rotating wheel.
Yes.
So we used to share a computer at the family home, and one day I just find Master of Puppets, Metallica.
لحظة أول أغنية سمعتها لميتاليكا Master of Puppets أول أغنية لميتاليكا.
What a massive start.
يعني لا عارف
I didn't listen to any other rock and roll before that. Like when you're young you don't really pay attention. But then you hear that one thing where it's just like holy crap, this is intense.
Wow.
So imagine you're just hearing that da 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 da. And that song was on repeat for an entire year.
Wow.
And I think I was in 6th grade or 7th grade, and it was just on repeat for the entire year. And then, believe it or not, the second band I bumped into was Slipknot.
Okay, يعني أنا بصراحة يعني I would congratulate you لأنه you started Metallica with Master of Puppets يعني unlike many people who started with Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
يعني بداية بصراحة it was like heavy يعني خلاص أنت بدأت ميتاليكا في عز مجدهم.
Yeah, the thing is like I knew we were listening to music. Like we're a very musically orientated family, and you know I grew up with 2 sisters, and they're always listening to like back in the day it was like Disney songs or pop songs or whatever. And then Dad was, I remember he played a bit of Pink Floyd, but like it was something I could never pay attention to because even on the radio while going to school انه كنت ساكن بالشرقية. فمن السعودية الشرقية لين بحرين every single day we were commuting to school.
Okay.
So there was a lot of time to listen to music on the road trips we had.
Wow.
And I always thought like I need something heavier. And there were a couple of songs like I used to hear on the radio from other bands being played on the radio. And it was heavy music. And I'm like, I like this stuff, but I need more. And then when the iPods came into picture, I was like, now this is where I can actually get songs, put them in there, and listen to them all the time. So firstly, started with Metallica and then Slipknot, and then I started branching out with different songs from the both bands. And then other bands came into the picture eventually, like Linkin Park or
System of a Down.
System of a Down definitely was a huge influence in the childhood memories. There were a lot of bands. And then eventually when I started learning guitar, and that was back in 2008.
You play guitar?
Yeah, I played guitar for 11 years now. 12 years, I think.
He's a good guitarist.
Okay, don't push it.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm disappointed, and I will pause the recording now. يعني
To curse yourself.
No. You had to bring the guitar and just يعني a little bit يعني I wanted to see a little bit of skills. يعني.
فكرة والله كان we could have added this part.
We're gonna make it a future job.
We could do that next time, hopefully.
Yeah.
When Ben shows up.
صح الاثنين يجوا.
Yeah.
ممكن يعني.
Okay, I'll be the bassist.
Or do you play as well? Or
No,
Yeah.
just the bass, because the bassist, it doesn't matter if he played or not.
By the way, do not underestimate
لا
bass.
ترى
لا.
الميتال
Do not
بالذات
underestimate
ممكن
bass.
مو ذاك الشيء بس ال other genres يعني الروك بالذات it's very influenceable.
Yeah.
أصلاً
No,
يعني
sorry, look at death metal and look at a lot of the other songs coming out nowadays that involve gent, that involve
بالجن طبعا إيه لازم.
even Vector, the band Vector.
Yes.
Thrash.
They're classic thrash to the point where even tune up the guitars. They tune above standard tuning, and the basses needs to be heard, and it's so needed. Otherwise, you're just going to have another Injustice for All album where the bass is practically non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
يعني I believe in that لأنه أنا بالنسبة لي يعني البيس is major project بس I'm just mocking the idea إنه how many culture أو إنه مثلا كيف كثير مثلا metalheads أو listen to music إنه bassist it doesn't matter ما إنه مهم أو مثلا ما بيعطوا له اعتبار يعني.
لأنه البيسز بشكل عام ما هو outstanding مثلا حتى على الستيج بيكون ورا أصلا.
But here's an interesting fact.
ما حد يركز عليه.
Before I decided that I wanted to learn guitar, the instrument I actually wanted to learn was bass. It was not it was never guitar.
You know إيش الانسترومنت يعني أنا فعليا الحاس إنه I want to play I really want to play drums.
Oh yeah.
يعني بتحس the blast يعني الانرجي اللي بتطلع من الدرامر يعني شيء ما هو طبيعي يعني. Okay, I like the guitarist, I like the bassist, the singer and everything. بس الدرامر فيه هيك له something special about it. ممكن حتى اللي خلاني أفكر بالموضوع الدرامر لأنه من فترة قريبة كنت بتفرج على اللي هو Shredders of Metal. ما بعرف إذا سمعتوا بالبرنامج هذا أو لا. في برنامج على يوتيوب اسمه Shredders of Metal. الهوست بانجر تي في اللي هو صاحبها
I think I know that
سام دان. سام دان إذا بتعرف سام دان واحد من الناس اللي عملوا documentary movies about metal music. هو من الناس اللي كان من الحكام تبع Shredders of Metal. فعملوا 3 seasons. السيزون الأول كان season 1 and 2 were all about shredding and guitar. Third season about drums. فكان شيء مرة interesting يعني حتى أنا شفت الدرامرز اللي شاركوا أنا قاعد أقول wow that's really يعني great drummers يعني I've never seen like that before. I got influenced يعني a lot about drummers يعني فعشان كده أنا حسيت إنه والله that's a thing I wanted يعني something I'm interested in.
Yeah. And it's worth taking up. Like another detail about me, I'm an audio engineer and I did self-teach myself drums. Like I didn't have anyone teach me. I'm not the most amazing drummer, but I know how to do a few beats at least, keep my feet consistent and whatever. But the technique, the precision, the feel of just hitting the cymbals the right way when there's a soft part of the song or a heavier part of the song, those things matter. And knowing when to not play and when to play in the tempo of a song or in the feel of a song really matters. There are a lot of great drummers out there, and can't think of any at the top of my head. Like Chris Adler. I was just listening to Slipknot in the car, so I'm thinking Joey Jordison. But like, he has his own way of doing things.
مين كان عندك في كان فريدريك تبع Flash God Apocalypse. Frederick I think was his name. تبع Flash God Apocalypse. I don't know if you heard the band or not.
I can't remember, but who was the drummer for Death? What was his name? Jamie Hooligan or Hooligan, yeah. He was. He's a very, very important drummer to the metal industry. Like a lot of the work he's done with different bands and how he implemented it over to the death metal industry was really important. And then there were the people who first started implementing double bass or different techniques or odd time signatures, progressive time signatures.
طبعا even though I know you are a fan of Metallica, بس معلش ما راح امدح لارس.
Oh no, Lars.
No.
Lars is the definition of stale.
يا عمي خليه يا عمي هذا درامر ده أصلا.
Okay, like I'll give him the benefit of a doubt that he knew what he was doing in the earlier Metallica albums.
Metallica until please Saint
بلاش نكمل.
No, even not Saint Anger. By the way, Saint Anger, this is a topic I want to discuss about because that is a very interesting album in terms of Metallica. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people like it.
Okay, you know what? I think I'll keep it later on when we come to the arguments between metal. طبعا يا جماعة الحلقة هذه حتكون موجودة على كافة البلاتفورمز من أنكر، سبوتيفاي، جوجل بودكاست، أبل بودكاست، وكمان على منصة بوديوم منصة عربية أكبر منصة بودكاست في الشرق الأوسط. تقدروا تسمعوا الحلقة هذه فيها، وإن شاء الله كمان حتكون برضو متوفرة على اليوتيوب في أقرب وقت ممكن. طبعا حسب الوقت اللي أنا أقدر حمنتج فيه الحلقة وأنزل لكم إياها. That's before we start talking about the topics. طيب I want to talk الموضوع تبع اللي هو عن society أو يعني يعني الآن حتى ما فكرت حتى إيش أسمي العنوان تبع يعني العنوان الحلقة، بس أبغى أتناقش عن 3 نقاط يعني اللي هي metalheads against society، مش against أو اللي هو نظرة the society for the metalheads, other genres and metal، وكمان even the conflicts between metalheads and metalheads. I think لما نوصل لهذا الموضوع أتوقع هو هذا أضخم شيء حيكون في
أصير موشبت هنا.
طبعا احنا بنسجل
3 gentlemen 1 room World War 3.
واو. طبعا احنا دحين في الهاوس فزوفي I'm sorry if you got something damaged. I am not even sorry about it. Wow, والله.
Just before if you don't mind, like we moving on to those topics.
Yes.
Van Halen. That is some sad news, huh?
تعرف أول أغنية سمعت له إياها شو كانت؟ Running with the Devil.
Wow, really?
فان هيلن الأمانة ما كنت بعرف عنه شيء إلا لما سمعت له. يعني أنا بصراحة اللي خلاني أسمع له I think I was shuffling the music randomly. I was searching for something classic. يعني عارف أنا from time to time يعني if I kept مثلا listening to something مثلا new عم بحكي بعدين لا I need something a little bit classic يعني I need just to keep it down a little bit. فكنت مشغل I think AC/DC وبعد اشتغلت أغنية قلت بنفسي who's that playing؟ طالع Van Halen Running with the Devil. قلت that's something great يعني I enjoyed it. بعدين شوي سمعت باناما. ايش كمان كانت في أغاني
Eruption. That was my first song I listened to.
Eruption أول مرة سمعتها كانت لايف.
No way.
أو لايف في اليوتيوب. I never attended a concert. I never attended a concert in my entire life يعني. فأنا شفت النسخة اللايف أنا قاعد بطالب أقول هذا مجنون. هذا المجنون قاعد بيعزف على الجيتار. He's not human. ما بعرف what do you think about the technique of his guitar skills يعني.
When I first started learning guitar and I had a teacher for about 4 months, like one of the first guitarists he recommended was obviously Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, from Ozzy Osbourne, Angus Young, a bunch of other classic guys, Steve Vai as well. But Van Halen, he said, is really special. And just before I start talking about EVH, his amplification company, his tone, his ability to tap, and to my understanding, he was the guy that really made tapping on a guitar what it is.
He's the one who invented it anyways.
Was he the one that really invented it? Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was the one but first time I heard tapping يعني لأول مرة سمعتها بقول I never heard something like that before.
Yeah.
ما عمري سمعت زي هيك يعني ما شفت جيتارست يعني عمل هذا. انا حتى بطلع على الطريقه اللي بيلعبها يعني I don't يعني انا ماني musician بس يعني بطلع على الجيتارست والطريقه اللي هو البيعزف فيها ف I understand there's something different يعني that's not يعني I don't know what he's doing but it's something weird.
What was different about him to my understanding, because this is what my guitar teacher said back in the day, and obviously this is all subjective, but he was the guy that really defined, you know, the 80s shred era pretty much, which was like all the other guys that followed after that doing the sweeps, like who's the guy who wrote Altitudes? Jason Becker.
Jason Becker.
Yeah, and some of the other guys, Yngwie Malmsteen as well, because Van Halen was also a classical musician. He grew up learning piano, learning classical style piano. And as you know, classical music has a massive influence on metal artists themselves.
هذا الشيء تكلمت عنه في أول حلقة.
Yeah.
برضو. يعني I talked about that يعني early.
All of his technique is there, and his technique was just too darn unique to be ignored. And he started that big hair 80s shred environment and the modification of amplifiers after that with EVH.
Yeah.
And taking PV, which is a different amplification company, and taking a very particular one of his models, the 5150, and then modifying it to be EVH.
Oh, okay.
Because he was an engineer as well. Not a lot of people knew that. He was an engineer and he modified it into a whole
I
new
think
thing.
his son also in the band. His son, Wolf.
I think he is in a band. Like he is
with his father.
Is he with his father?
Yes.
Wolfgang.
Yes.
Yeah, Wolfgang. Yeah.
أنا يعني I knew يعني عارف الخبر إنه he had cancer.
Yeah.
I knew it يعني like a year ago but I did not pay much attention يعني ما I don't know why بس I completely forgot about it يعني ما خطر ببالي إنه يعني أرجع لفان هيلن or considering about him. All out of a sudden يعني إنه Van Halen passed away.
Yeah.
he wasn't just a guitarist. I think he influenced many يعني كثير من الجيتارست في الوقت الراهن يعني I think they see him as an influence.
Yeah, look at a lot of the
I think
like bands you follow on social media. Metallica posted, Trivium posted, everyone was posting everywhere about Van Halen.
Not only يعني حتى كمان مو بس يعني they are not only about rock or metal يعني حتى مع مايكل جاكسون طلع I played live with him with أغنية Beat It.
Yeah.
يعني I think everyone يعني حتى أصلا شفت ميم من فترة إنه Van Halen passed away all music genres يعني مو بس حتى rockers or metalheads or whatever you wanna call يعني people who have passion about this kind of music. They all loved Van Halen يعني بتحسوا إنه special ما هو مثلا يعني few people considered about him. I think everyone considered about him. فهذا الشيء يعني another legend passed away.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace Van Halen.
I think سامح ما بطيقه.
مو اني ما اطيقه، انا تعرفني يعني مو مرة في الكلاسيكس. وبالنسبة لفان هيلن يعني ما كنت أعرف إلا كم أغنية اللي هي Eruption و Hot for a Teacher، حتى من بعض الأشياء اللي كانت موجودة في Guitar Hero أصلا. بالنسبة لبيرت يعني أنا زمان كان عندي confusion، كنت أحسب إنه الجيتار يعني السولو نفسه انه كان سلاش اللي لانه اي ثينك مره في لايف سلاش طلع مع مايكل جاكسون وهي played that solo.
يس.
فبعدين I found out انه these techniques اصلا are not slashes. مرة باينة خلاص بتسمع انت اي شيء بعد كده.
I don't think Slash can play that fast anyway with Guns N' Roses.
Probably.
No offense Slash.
بس لا اقصد التكنيكس حق التابينج يعني that kind of tapping يعني if تسمعه مرة واحدة من فان هيلين تعرف انه لما تسمع في اي مكان you can't يعني it's his signature.
I think انه هذه الشغله موجوده في كثير من الميوزيشنز يعني انه خلاص انت مثلا بتسمع درامز يعني زي الالبوم تبع ميجا ديث تبع ديستوبيا كريس ادلر كان الدرامر. انا بسمع الميوزك
من الدرمز
خلاص بقول هذا كريس ادلر هذا ما هو غيره ما غيره هذا كريس ادلر طبعا خرايا عليك يا ديف مستن مشيته يا على شكلك معليش. طبعا don't get me wrong I like Megadeth بس ديف يا اخي sometimes
he does a lot of things that maybe are good for the band, maybe it's not, but obviously there's a lot of politics that happen behind closed doors with bands.
Especially with Dave.
Yeah. يعني على فكرة يعني I think the best lineup اللي كان من ألبوم End Game.
مو بس End Game, Rust in Peace.
Rust in Peace, what an album.
I think إنه كانوا on the apex of their career was at the End Game. في ألبوم End Game.
End Game ترى يعتبر قريب 2009.
بس I think إنه كان لاين اب عندهم مرة
كان قوي الألبوم. كان بشكل عام بس الجيتاريست أظن ذاك إيش كان فاكر اسمه I think إنه originally Italian.
Gus I think.
Marty Freedom.
لا هذا جيتاريست.
No that was back in.
وهذا مرة أيام
Rust in Peace era.
مش مارتي.
Marty is in Japan no.
ناسي والله مين كان.
لا بتكلم عن الدرامر لأنه في ديك الفترة برضو كان في واحد درامر حتى في اللايف يعني كان he always ends up the live with a drum solo.
ناسي والله
مين كان اسمه ما أعرف.
ناسي والله. yeah that's about the music.
بس معلش يعني ميجا ديث يعني whoever they get ترى after Marty Friedman Dave is carrying the band.
And
يعني كل الأسماء اللي جابوها بعد كده.
And the bassist yeah.
I'm not really familiar.
He has a big role in Dave's and Dave's writing yeah.
Okay.
And he really defines his tone as well. They kind of complement each other, and that's how bands have to work together. Like the guitarist, the bassist, the singer, the drummer, they all have to kind of work together to develop a tone that suits ears. Yeah. And that's another technique. Like Slipknot has a really unique technique with both guitarists, Mick Thompson and Jim Root.
Yeah.
And because I understand like their audio engineering perspectives. Jim Root uses a very punchy, heavy amplifier, kind of like Mastodon's tone.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so you know that big chunky tone.
Yes.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
يعني I don't know بس I think شفت الميم اللي حطيتها من فترة اللي هي how to explain between the difference between breakdown and solo. The solo goes like wee and the breakdowns
yeah.
How this is how I really explain the يعني I like this breakdown. What is the breakdown? It goes like
it's when your head starts to bang.
Exactly. So let me just let's start about the topic I wanted to talk about. First thing, it's about the society and metalheads. I think يعني the first question I really want to ask both of you يعني why metal music? Why يعني إيش يعني okay عبد الله I knew that you got into music about metallic يعني I think we got into this point at the early of the episode. Sامح I think I little knew about that يعني back in my day but I think if you would like to share about the metal music يعني or your experience with it.
يا أخي this subject you know يعني this is where I get salty. No.
Go ahead. I don't care يعني about.
Yeah, I'm just saying يعني إنه أنا في النهاية it's a music genre خلاص. It doesn't matter what you listen to as long as you like it, as long as how it sounds like. And I can listen to metal, I can listen to rock. Sometimes I tend to listen to rap. Sometimes listen to ينبعاوي. عادي.
Yes.
ما تعرف إيش قاعد أقول صح؟
don't worry, I'm gonna translate that later, but we're fine with that.
فالميتال بشكل عام يعني هو واحد من الجنرز of the music that you tend to listen to يعني it doesn't define a lifestyle you have to go and live with. It doesn't define, it just يعني it just a music style. وممكن هو يكون المفضل عندك عشان كده انت يعني الناس هذا ميتال هيد عشان هو مرة يحب يسمع ميتال، بس يعني ما هو ميتال هيد ما صار يعني كده تصنيف او يعني كلاسيفيكيشن للشخص انه هذا ميتال هيد. يعني these things يعني اشياء جات كده الناس طلعوها، بس خاصة انه صار في النهاية هذا الانسان ميتال هيد، هذا الانسان اوتاكو، هذا الانسان جيمر. فهي صفات عند فممكن واحد يسوي كذا حاجه. طب اذا يسمع راب يعني اتكلم في الموضوع ده زمان في البودكاست
في حلقه هاوس زوفي لما تكلمنا عنها.
حتسمي ايش يعني روكر هيد ولا راب هيد ولا في النهايه اتس ا ميوزك جنرا. everyone listens to whatever they like.
you know انه انا وصلت لمرحله بكره لما حدا يناديني ميتال هيد. I don't like that. خلاص يعني I'm not metalhead. ما بشوف حالي even though I listen to the music but I don't.
يعني تلاقي ناس نحن نحب الميتال مرة يعني بس
لا يعني it's okay.
Don't define me by what I listen to. يعني I have a lot of good features. For example, I have a lot of features rather than music. فليش أنا حتسمى metal head بس عشان أسمع metal؟ طب لما أنا أسمع أنا شيء ثاني.
People like to put labels on things.
Exactly.
That's what it is. That's how humans work. Like if you want to delve into that psychological concept, humans like to put labels on things.
يعني ممكن تحط لك يعني كصفة اوكي metal head اوكي صفة ماشي بس I'm not pure metal head. يعني حتى انا I don't see myself انه انا experience with metal يعني بصراحة ما حتى ما لو حد بحكي ما سمعت كل الباندز اللي في العالم يعني كمان ولا بعرف يعني اوكي maybe I like few bands مش شرط انه مثلا كمان لازم اكون عارف تاريخهم من something like this يعني انه خلاص لازم اكون مرة ضليع بهذا الموضوع.
مو أنا هنا المشكلة اللي قصدي عليه إنه لما الإنسان خلاص أنت تعرف الإنسان ده كميتال هيد إنه حتى لما تتكلم معه ولا أي سبجكت بينك وبينه أو كل الهروج حتكون about metal. طيب لما يصير الموضوع إن أنت بس تخرج مع الإنسان هروجك بس نفس الهروج. يعني أنا عبد الله تعرفت عليه تقريبا في 2012. كيف تعرفت عليه؟ أصحابه اللي حوالينه هم أصحابي ويقول عبد الله يسمع ميتال. كده تعرفت عليه. كان كده جالس كان لابس تيشيرت أظن ميتاليكا ذاك اليوم في الدي ديسكفري سكوير. ورحت عرفوني عليه وبس. بعد فترة كده صرت أشوفه شوية فصرنا نتكلم. طبعا تعرفنا روجنا كلها ميتال. بعد كده طلع مرة يحب دراغون بول وطلع أشياء يعني أشياء بالنسبة لي more important than just music. بعدين عرفته أكثر يعني صار الميوزك أقل شيء ممكن نتكلم عنه لما نحن we have a conversation or anything. فهي الهرجة ممكن
it's a part يعني ما هي شيء
exactly. it's not everything.
It's a massive part but it's not the main thing.
لأنه الناس دحين في السوسايتي هذا أنا إيش قصدي عبد الله سبيشال الناس اللي في جدة. أنت ممكن لأنه maybe you are used to other environments. أنت ما شاء الله كنت يعني في كذا مكان يعني مو بس في جدة. الناس في جدة لما يلاقوا زمان ديك الفترة 2005-6 تلاقي واحد يسمع متى واحد لابس تيشيرت متى في الشارع you have to befriend him otherwise you are missing something out. كان الموضوع انه واو هذا ميتال هيد انت كده انت يا شيخ وتروح تشبك وتتصاحب معاه وفيسبوكس وما ادري ايش وتتعرف عليه. دحين يا عمي والله طعوس شغلوا nothing else matters في السيارة. وربي انا شفت واحد راكب وانات مشغل nothing else matters. في النهاية it's a music taste. It's a music genre خلاص. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah, we agree on that. يعني يعني هذه نظرة المجتمع إنه خلاص يعني تصنيفك أنت كمثل يعني I don't think we would agree on that. يعني إنه it's not something إنه تتصنف تجاهه. طبعا هي كانت في مشاكل أنا كنت بدي أتكلم عنها بس I think في الوقت الراهن يعني or in the meantime يعني I don't consider إنه خلاص في أي accusations or any attack against metal. I think الناس صاروا
اتعودوا
مش حتى
صار عادي.
No, what happened is it's the same argument that was happening against video games, which was the violence against video games, but I'm not going to delve into that.
But
however,
is there violence against video games?
Yeah, the accusations that video games make murders. And the reasons for school shootings is because of
I think إنه خلاص anyway. I think one of the points يعني إنه خلاص الجوزناها يعني حتى in the current time يعني اللي هي مثلا accusation against مثلا Satanism يعني I think يعني هذه أول تهمة أظن يعني خلاص he listened to rock and metal he worships Satan يعني dude that's so wrong يعني
you know what's funny
that's the question. Why يعني why people يعني إنه إيش ليش إنه ربطوا سيتان بميتال ميوزك.
And I can definitely give you an answer for that.
I need Abdullah.
It all started with blues music, and the Crossroad Devil story with Robert Johnson or something like that, with the crossroads with the devil coming in and the black car and whatever. And it started there, and then eventually Alice Cooper came into the picture with the Halloween image. And then what really solidified it, what was happening in Norway with
Mayhem.
The black metal.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
And then it's what happened with them that really solidified Satanism with black metal.
With black metal. So you can't blame people.
You can't blame people necessarily, but you can't control what's going on with the different genres. And people are starting to understand that with different genres means different beliefs, different idealisms. Because look at bands. Look at every band you know. Pantera. They defined something with their personality, which was like the groove, the partying, the stigma against people without respect. That's what Waka is about.
Yes.
And then there's songs that are against social idealisms. That's for System of a Down.
Yes.
Politics as well.
Megadeth
as well. Metallica, fighting inner demons.
Yes. Stories about war.
Yeah.
Come on. Also, I think Sabaton about history.
Yeah. And then you have guys like At the Gates.
Yeah.
They literally have a verse with they say not the Satanic Bible, but like a verse off of a book that denounces God, pretty much. And At War with Reality, that's the album. It's the starting song actually, or starting piece of the album. And then you look at Mayhem, obviously, and the guy who committed suicide. Dead. Yeah.
He's also dead.
Dead.
wait.
Dead equals dead.
Here's
Enormous
the story.
killed a guy.
No,
he was killed by Varg.
He committed suicide.
So he was not killed by Varg.
No, he committed suicide. That was Burzum, I think.
Varg.
It first started as Varg was manipulating Dead, and he committed suicide. And when Dead,
Varg did not die yet.
لا ما عم بتكلم عن فارغ كان عم بلعب بمخ ديد اللي هو المغني تبع ميهم.
Enormous.
لا ديد.
Dead. Okay, sorry.
Dead. Okay. Enormous الجيتارست. Okay. ف Dead committed suicide. The band
after burning down some churches and murdering and
they took picture of their dead vocalist.
They took a picture of Dead after he committed suicide,
and they made necklaces out of his skull bones.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And they gave it to bands who they deemed worthy of having this honor of Dead's skull.
And then later on, Varg killed Enormous and to the jail.
He was sentenced
25 years. Then now he's alive. He's still alive and free.
Oh, and
but
there's another band.
He burned
churches.
He burned churches. Yeah, that's true.
Behemoth, the lead singer and guitarist. Nergal. He's a full-on Satanist, and there's a video about him as well called "The Satanist of Poland" or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
You can see that influence in his songs and music. It's very obvious.
They are banned from Russia, by the way. They are banned from Russia. They're not allowed to enter Russia anymore.
Yeah.
الفكرة إنه طيب يعني there are few bands يعني they are talking about different subjects, but that does not mean إنه والله يعني if a guy يعني يعني did something wrong, that does not mean that I am involved in it too for a music he listens to.
Yeah, just because you listen to them doesn't mean you believe in them.
Let me put it for example يعني there are a lot of rap, hip hop stars, pop stars يعني
who are even worse than metalheads.
They are
term of
let's just say يعني let's just say إنه one of the pop stars يعني caught that he's addicted to drugs or murder case or something.
that doesn't mean you're like him.
أو لا يعني مو معناته لا شوف هي المشكلة عندهم بالتعميم انه والله طب انت بتسمع الميتال اوكي معناته انه
كل الميتال
انه هذا قتل معناته الباكين بيقتلوا طب معناته هذا البوب ستار اللي قتل خلص كل البوب ستارز بيقتلوا مثلا او انه they are addicted to drugs. هي هذه
النظرة هذه ما موجودة على الميتال.
ايوه
على سوري على كل الاشياء الا على الميتال بس.
ايوه
يعني I'm sorry look at okay you're completely right about rap music but look at a lot of pop artists as well who were idealized by kids. Miley Cyrus.
بالضبط.
Miley Cyrus and her history with drugs and her history with drinking and the nudity that came out and what it influenced those kids growing up to do as well. And then the rap situation is really good as well. But the thing is, this is how being a celebrity has changed over the years. Because celebrities back in the day never realized that they were a role model to people growing up, or they were listening to or watching them on TV or anything like that. They needed to understand that they were role models. So when they were doing drugs and things like that, and then they were influencing the younger generation or people of the same generation to do the same thing because that's what was cool. So it's a really fine line, and yeah, we're getting a lot of the stigma when it involves the killings back in the past or the violence, because people view us like, look at a Slayer concert and look at anyone with a Slayer t-shirt.
لحظة أهم سؤال do you like Slayer?
Oh, I love Slayer.
Okay, I wanted just to insult them but
we have that part later because I want to insult them too.
Yeah.
Listen,
yes
listen, we can
yes we're gonna
just because we love bands or certain people love bands, it doesn't mean that
this
anyone else can criticize them.
The whole podcast.
Yeah. I know it's coming. It's a rock and it's an avalanche that I can see it coming from a mile away, and it's coming, and I'm just standing there and I'm waiting for arms wide open.
Wow. لا شوف to be يعني this is one of the things that we're gonna discuss later about the fans of other bands. What were you saying about Slayer fans or the concerts for Slayer?
I've seen people come back from Slayer concerts. I had this friend.
All bruises and...
Oh, he was beyond bruised, man.
Nice.
He got a bump on his head like the size of a tennis ball.
Ouch.
And he came back, his shirt was ripped. And this was after a concert in Australia. And mind you, like... concerts everywhere around the world, because obviously here there's no drinking or a lot of drugs or anything. So, but in Australia or in the United States or Canada or anywhere else in the world, when people go to concerts, they're under the influence. So people get a little bit more into things at the time. So they get more into the music, they get more into the moshing, and it does get a lot of violence. And people have died in a Slayer concert before. They have got stamped over, and that's when the rule of moshing came out, which is if someone falls, you pick them back up. And I have fell in a mosh pit before, in a Trivium concert in Parkway Drive, in Bellacore.
Worth it.
Oh, it was worth it.
Worth it.
But I got picked up. I didn't even hit the floor before I was picked up again. I could have I lost my balance completely. Like, I knew that if at this point, I was going to fall to the ground. And I got picked up and put back on my feet. And a shield was formed around me to protect me, to make sure that I gained the momentum to either get out of the circle or get back into the circle.
I think that reminded me of concert تبع Lamb of God اللي صار في 2012 I think 2012 or 2013 لما واحد من one of the fans got on the stage
وضربوا
Randy pushed
Randy got jailed because of that act.
Yeah, I think it was Pero.
He didn't die, did he?
No, died. The guy died.
The guy died.
عشان هيك يعني Randy was jailed.
Yeah, I remember. I don't think he was jailed though.
He was jailed, but I think for a little time.
Yeah.
For a short time.
For a short time.
It was like a couple of days that he was detained.
Yeah.
Like when a guy's thrown to jail, that's a whole different story. Yeah, and there was a law case about it and so on, and he apologized.
He was arrested literally. I mean,
yeah.
But what happened afterwards, he was خلاص set out.
Yeah.
يعني ما كان ذاك serious يعني غير لما بتشوف لما يكون يعني متعمد القتل. هو ما هو he just pushed him and that guy died, he fell on his head.
You know, that's an interesting thing. Like, if someone was to walk up onto your stage,
I think it's something wrong, to be honest.
يعني هو ترى بتصير في كونسرت كثير، يعني كل الموزيشنز they يعني differently deal with it. في ناس they are being very friendly.
Have you ever seen Pantera? Like when
لما الفانز يطلعوا على الستيج.
Yeah, fans were always going on stage and jumping off, but they would never mess with Dimebag. They would never mess with
طب هذا
Vinnie Paul
ما عمل شيء
the
ترى.
bassist. Yeah,
I just remembered one of the concerts of Annihilator back in the days. One of the fans was able to reach onto the stage, and he stood before Jeff Waters, and he was shredding on the guitar, and he was headbanging, then fist bomb, and the guy wanted to do stage dive. Once he got the stage dive, all the people and he got on the stage. But you know what was funny? He stood up and do it like this. Like he was like, guys, I'm alive. That was the best thing I ever did.
من هنا جاك بلاك أخذها في School of Rock. لما نط الستيج في البداية وطح على.
I think Jack Black, you're right. He saw that video and he's just like, I'm gonna do it then.
He did it in the movie.
Wow, that was يعني عارف.
شوف كيف يعني مثلا جيف ووريرز يعني كيف he dealt with it، وشوف في غيره how they dealt. Of course يعني شوف الرابرز ولا كاني ويست ولا واحد زي جاستن بيبر، دي الأشكال لما الفانز they show devotion يعني إلى نوم التفشيل.
It's not even devotion, by the way. There are some people like
I'm sorry, they're disrespect, by the way. It's almost like I'm worshiping you يعني ما أدري ليش الناس كده يعني he's just a human being just like you, whoever he is. بس يعني انت من تطلع للستيج، في بعضهم يعني ميوزيشن يطلعوا بس انه to show their يعني enthusiasm، انه بس انه طلع على الستيج انه مرة متحمس انه انا واقف مع الباندز و I'm just headbanging خلاص يعني that's it.
And I have to think about the people performing on the stage, like the band performing on the stage. Like you see, like you're playing guitar, you're already dead focused,
sweaty and such
into playing the guitar. And you see a fan running up to you, like it's terrifying.
I'm gonna give.
Look what happened to Dimebag. He got shot on stage, and like the guy, okay, maybe he was in the crowd or so on, but he made his way through the stage.
I think that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, it is a dangerous thing. So when fans are running up to the stage, they need to understand that you're putting yourself in a position that you will actually get hurt by either security or the band themselves.
This is the thing, it's not always the case. يعني ممكن في ايام بقول لك زي ما حق جيف ووريرز وبرضه غيره كثيرين بيطلعوا عادي نفس الباند ممبرز يكونوا مروقين غالبا ولا بالعكس يعني they just shake hands، ممكن حتى they give him pics or anything. He takes a selfie with them while they're playing وينزل وتعدي. بس في ناس زي ما بتصير في الملاعب عندنا حتى وفي اي مكان في العالم. تخش تلاقي واحد داخل الملعب، يعني انت صايدينك السكيورتي والجمهور شايفين داخل الملعب انت بايعها. فما لك لو ستيج حينزل وحيهرب يعني ما حيصير له شيء، بس ملعب وحينقفض وبرضه يروح. فهذا اللي اسمه اللي نسميه الفان يعني
obsession about their
exactly
about their favorite bands or favorite artists.
It's normal to happen اصلا.
It's normal to happen, but it shouldn't. It's wrong to happen. Because like you know, when too many incidences happen in someone's life, they're gonna learn that like okay, we need to actually put security at the front.
يعني I think كمان هذه واحدة من الأشياء أو الأكشنز اللي كانوا مثلا السوسايتي إنه بتطلعوا عليهم. يعني حتى انتوا كويس انكم جايبين سيرة الكونسرت. يعني I think a lot of people يعني او اللي هم مثلا الناس من from the 80s لما بيشوفوا الكونسرت اللي هي اللي انتوا بتتكلموا عنها الحوادث هذه كلها the mosh pits, the wall of death, the stage dive, I think انه كانت لهم كمان نظرة انه this is too violent. يعني how can these people enjoy the music. I think انه هذه كانت واحدة برضو من الاسباب انه انه their concerts are violent. يعني فهذه واحدة من الaccusations اللي كانت بوجهها السوسايتي كمان against this genre.
True. Pray to Jesus to keep you calm.
I think كمان واحدة من one of the accusations اللي كانت I think it's weird يعني, و I think انت سامح كمان عارفها, اللي هي the hidden messages in the songs. زي معلش let's start with the main song أو اللي هي الأغنية أشهر أغنية Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
Which part was that again? Where it was
Stairway to Heaven, إنه بقولك يعني
كل الأغنية reverse it, بس
إنه أعكس الأغنية بقولك إنه worshipping Satan يعني I think يعني أنت
Have
شوف.
you actually tested this?
Yes, I actually tested. Stevie T tested.
طبعا شفت فيديوهاته كلها حقت التستينج, في أشياء تطلع مكيسة ما تطلع actual يعني messages or anything.
Yeah, some of it, يعني I need to test it later on, بس إنه لأنه من شفته بس يعني dude, let's to be honest يعني why would you hide a message يعني in a song يعني I think حتى واحدة من الأشياء I think عبد الله أنت كمان تعرفها اللي هي حاجة بيسموها the forbidden riff. I think you know that. إنه واحدة
من forbidden riff to play at guitar stores or
yes,
guitar conventions.
Yes.
ليش?
The Stairway to Heaven.
Which is Stairway to Heaven.
ترى الفكرة
ممنوع. You are forbidden to play it.
Yes.
It's a general rule. You are not allowed to play Stairway to Heaven.
Because it's satanic?
No, because it's just everyone plays it. Everyone plays it. Whenever they go to a guitar store, beginner, advanced player, shredder, the first thing they do when they pick up a guitar, they're gonna play Stairway to Heaven.
That's why it's forbidden now.
It's called the forbidden riff. Yeah,
I think إنه بدأ.
And I think
legally,
I think nothing else matters. Or Enter Sandman is gonna come up close to second and third.
I think, yeah.
Because it's getting really frustrating. I went to a lot of guitar stores, and what is else? The three riffs I hear in there? Enter Sandman, Crazy Train, and Stairway to Heaven. I have walked into multiple guitar stores and I hear Stairway to Heaven.
And the owners like just stop
they are giving them the evil eye from behind the evil
counter. I saw owners stop the guitars from playing.
Yeah. That happens if the owner of the store cannot tolerate it. He's like, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I've never seen like, okay, you go to a Metallica concert and you hear Enter Sandman. Yeah, of course you're gonna bang to it, or you're listening to it in the car. Yeah, you're gonna bang to it. You want to play it at home? Go ahead. You want to play with the band? Go ahead.
But don't play it at my store.
Don't play it at a store. When everyone is playing it.
I think إنه يعني I think إنه it doesn't make sense اللي هو كمان موضوع hidden messages.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't make يعني بصراحة يعني if you have a message you can just put it straight forward.
طب معلش, is it really easy that you can come up with something like that? أنت يعني تسوي you compose a whole song with lyrics and then when you reverse it turns out to be something else. Do you believe that it was done on purpose?
No way. What it is old grandmothers and old fathers and old mothers back in the day and seeing their kids listen to Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath or any of those guys. That's another band I would like to get into, Black Sabbath, because they got a lot of speculation about them, about religion and about violence and whatever. But anyway, it was just those angry parents trying to come up with reasons for their children to not listen to these bands. Stairway to Heaven.
Led Zeppelin. They don't sound evil.
Yeah, they don't sound evil. And
for them,
what it is, it's again parents taking a concept about the band where it's like, oh no, we need to make them believe that they're evil. Oh my God, they have a song called Stairway to Heaven. No, just play it in reverse, and it's a Stairway to Hell. Mind blown.
Oh.
Yeah.
لا I think على فكرة يعني حتى أصلا هذا الموضوع اللي هو إنه الaccusations بدأ من أيام البلوز. يعني البيتلز يعني حكوا لك إنه yeah they were accused and that أصلا يعني حتى the Beatles الشهرة اللي كانت فيهم يعني كانت شيء خرافي. أنا شفت يعني I don't like the Beatles ما بحب أسمع they are too classic for me I don't like them بس أنا لما شفت الفيديوهات على الناس you know they were worshipping the Beatles they were worshipping them literally يعني حتى أصلا طلعت phenomenal اسمها the Beatlemania يعني
بس السندروم
يعني يا خلاص عارف teenage girls screaming high pitches يعني عارف بطادوا ورا البيتلز خلاص they're chasing them. أصلا حتى بقول لك إنه one of the cops told one of the members told the Beatles إنه when you walk don't ever look at the girls and wave one day, I think one of the band members, cannot recall who did that, he just waved to the girls. He heard the cop. You know what the cop said? All right, boys, we are finished. We're doomed. We're literally doomed. Because the girls kept pushing the cops and they wanted to reach the Beatles.
ما
يعني
صدقت إنه
خلاص على فكرة you wave.
It was a replication of the Persians invading the Spartan army at that point.
يعني
And the cops just holding on to their shields and batons.
يعني عارف إنه يمكن I think one of the reasons إنه the accusations for
من الأوفر
yes من
over obsession by people.
over obsession from the famous من the songs influence تبعتهم يعني خلاص يعني إنه you reach into the point إنه بدك خلاص you want to throw accusations against these guys يعني.
Yep.
whether if they يعني حتى لو ما في تهم أو ما في أي إشي بيكون واضح قدامك خلاص you want to just throw it at them.
You know what's funny? Here's an example. When classical artists were making music back in the day, Mozart was heavily speculated and heavily judged and heavily
I think لأنه استخدم note اللي هي tritone I think.
Whether it was
whether
it was the tritone or it's called the tritone. Whether it was the tritone or other artists using the tritone or different artists making a song called the Devil Trill Sonata. That's a classical song.
Yes.
Every artist, when they produce music, they were always criticized for religious purposes or so on. But religion has always had an effect on humanity for years. Look at the Crusade. Look at a lot of the wars that have happened over the years. I don't want to bring politics into this, obviously.
It's the point. I think people feel what they do not understand.
Exactly. That's what.
فعشان هيك تلقى accusations هذه كلها.
Yeah.
What I think the society against metal music, I think we covered it all. If you have any other comments about regarding that and نظرة المجتمع مثلا للميتالهيدز الروكرز وكذا يعني حتى لو مثلا من طريقة اللبس يعني إنه I think يعني is it necessary for something يعني كميتال هيد إنه لازم يطلع مثلا يكون لابس أسود بأسود وسلاسل أوكي يعني I'm wearing Arch Enemy's t-shirt now بس مش معناته يعني إنه والله
Samah's wearing a Gojira shirt. I'm wearing a Metallica shirt. Doesn't mean anything.
We were just saying metal is not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
We just like them.
It's just support.
كأنك لابس تيشيرت حق Dragon Ball ولا حق
Doom shirt.
Yeah. لابس تيشيرت حق Final Fantasy لابس أي it's just something you love.
Here's the thing. بغض النظر هو is it necessary for people who listen to rap to sag their pants so low to the practical part of where their ass is sticking out?
No.
Is it necessary for people who listen to techno to wear lingerie pieces out? No. يعني but they do it anyway.
But I think إنه ممكن بس على فكرة بتحس إنه المثل هو الوحيد اللي له كده ستايل.
لا كل شيء له ستايل.
لا بس يعني بس تحس إنه كده مرة obvious يعني أو إنه something يعني.
إيش
It's not that it's obvious. It's iconic.
Exactly.
I'm putting the hammer down on that. It is iconic. And it is a good look.
You have to wear the
black jeans and a good band t-shirt. There you go. And a denim jacket.
Exactly.
Or denim boots. And black combat boots as well. And grow your hair out.
I think do you have any other comments regarding society or
Allah هو if you want to talk about one last comment about that part is what literally our society يعني dealt with that before يعني زمان كانت الكونسرتس حقت الميتال كانت موجودة back in 2005 or 7 بس كانت كلها طبعا underground until maybe last year I had one gig also here in Jeddah بس كله طبعا underground ما في شيء يكون open to the air.
Okay.
لأنه للآن هم ما يعتبرون إنه شيء يعني عادي أو طبيعي زي باقي زي ما خلاص يعني صار في حفلات العربية زي ما بتشوف تامر حسني وغيره
but I think يعني شوف I don't consider them rock بس I think بدأوا يجيبوا Imagine Dragon أو Imagine Dragons.
خلينا نقول إنه rock pop.
If Corey Taylor was here he would probably
يعني بس ما يعني بس إنه
What does Corey Taylor think about
Corey Taylor hates Imagine Dragons. I've seen this guy destroy them.
بس يعني
concerts are happening. I'm sorry, Sardia was going to bring Nicki Minaj. I'm not forgiving that.
يعني شوف كانوا بيوصلوا لشيء زي كده وهو يعتبر مرة مو شيء طبيعي بس لما تقول لهم مثلا let's just bring Metallica مثلا for example ما يعتبر
I
ما شيء
reckon-
اوفر وصعب
Yeah.
انه يتقبلوا. ما اتكلم عن عشان الديماند لانه ما في ديماند طبعا.
في demand.
لا في demand ميتاليكا
في
demand.
there's demand
Sorry.
for Iron Maiden,
Demand.
there's demand for Metallica.
اوكي في ديماند.
Yeah.
ديماند انت قول لي كم شخص ديماند؟
Okay,
نفس
here's-
شخص ديماند نفس العدد حق كم واحد بكول
استنى.
بلاي فور اكزامبل.
hold the phone. Metallica came to Dubai a long time ago.
I'm talking about Saudi.
Okay,
I know they did.
okay. How many people from all over the GCC, from Lebanon, from Palestine حتى, or from anywhere, flew over to Dubai just to watch Metallica? The same exact concept will happen. And by the way, this already happens for Formula 1. When Formula 1 is racing in Bahrain, people من السعودية, people من Lebanon, all come to Bahrain just to watch it. And it's the same concept when it happens in Dubai. So if Metallica was to perform بالسعودية, the demand is all around, not just بالسعودية. It's all around. And I'm sorry if nothing else is as popular as it is, and people are listening to it so generically, of course they're going to come listen to it.
بالضبط.
Metallica has a way. And by the way, they haven't just become a band. Their branding, their marketing, their ability to sell a show is to them
اصلا let's
to
be
them good to be
اصلا
missed.
let's be honest. حتى الناس اللي ما بتسمع روك وميتال they know about Metallica. يا عمي يا
At least they
امي
hear
وابوي
about
بيعرفوا مين Metallica. Everyone knows about Metallica.
You look at the logo and you
خلاص
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the conflict against other genres يعني this is another topic I want to I think there is a point I want to talk about first اللي هي سامح انت زي ما تكلمت عن بداية الحلقة انه you listen to multiple genres يعني I think not many people او ممكن انا ادمجها اللي هي metalheads against metalheads or something like that for the topic. بس انا النقطة اللي بتكلم عنه يعني في كثير من ال metalheads او ال people who like metal music they do not like listening to other genres او انه ما بيشوفوا انه خلاص we are better than these genres.
في فرق تقول we are better وفي فرق لما تقول ما يعجبني.
أيوه.
في ناس عندها different perspective من هذه الناحية. في ناس انه they just don't want to give an open mind to something different. يعني يقول لك metal core for example هذا حق teenagers انا ما اسمع الاشياء دي.
لا سيبك من metal core. I'm talking about other genres. يعني مثلا
يعني non metal
like once a metalhead always a metalhead type of thing.
هذا اوكي يعني different genres that are other than metal.
يعني مثلا انت بتسمع metal وبتسمع راب يعني كمثال يعني.
exactly you just listen to whatever you want. في ناس يقول لك لا انا metal is the only thing يعني اللي هذول اللي يسموهم يعني ايش اقول لك يعني
elitist.
I wouldn't even call them an elitist. I'd call them an extremist.
Exactly. That's the right word for it.
That's the difference. And by the way, a lot of rap artists coming out now. There's a rap artist I've been listening to for a couple of years. His name is Bones. Very underground rap.
Yep.
عرفته. Yes.
The guy's wearing Burzum t-shirts and
لا I think Bones produced a black metal album.
No, that's Ghostmane. Ghostmane, it's a different rapper.
Maybe.
Yeah.
أنا ملخبط لأنه في واحد أنا شفته he produced something like مو مرة black metal بس إنه في atmospheric of the black metal.
Yeah.
I got shocked.
Bones does have a bit of that, and he would scream like black metal scream in some of his rap songs, and somehow it fits. Just because the bass is so heavy, and they kind of compensate. It's the bass and the not drum, but like the bass drum type of thing. That's one element, and a lot of genres nowadays are starting to realize the benefit of bringing a good guitarist onto their albums, or a good bassist, or a good drummer. They're starting to realize this. I'm listening to more and more songs nowadays, where even pop songs are bringing in decent guitarists,
musicians in general.
Yeah.
يعني هي هذا المشكلة إنه مثلا بتسمع أنت مثلا different genre تحس إنه يعني is it true هل فعليا إنه هذا الكلام صح إنه والله metal is better than other genres أو إنه you consider يعني شوف عندي نظرة إنه why I enjoy metal. أنا okay I don't listen to other genres not because إنه
You hate it just because metal is what you like the most.
أو إنه it did not fit me أو إنه ما حسيت إنه بانتماء يعني له ما حسيت إنه I'm picky at song يعني حتى في يعني حتى even in metal يعني I'm picky
ما تسمع كل شيء طبيعي هذا everyone's ears يعني كل واحد عنده ذوقه في النهاية.
You want to feel comfortable to what you listen to, and it's a matter of perspective in terms of what a person likes or what they determine is the best genre in the world. It doesn't make it applied to everyone. If I'm sorry, if James Hetfield came out with a statement going like, or Corey Taylor, for example, came out with the statement, it's like, our band is the best band in the world. It's like, okay, no. You have no right to say that.
I know a band
people have.
I know a band said that. كمل بس عشان أقول لك مين الباند هذه.
Nobody has the right to say that. It's a matter of the individual's perspective in terms of what they find to be the best genre on earth. If you want to say that metal is the best genre for you, that's fine. It doesn't mean it's the same for me or the same to Samih. Because I can go like, no, you think metal is the best genre? I'll say death metal is the best.
Wow.
طيب, do you want, here's a clap for you or something like that? Like, it doesn't matter. It's all speculation up to the perspective of the individual. And
it's very subjective.
There you go.
I think حتى واحدة من الأشياء اللي كانوا بيكرهوه إنه مثلا لو شافوا يعني حتى الفانز إنه مثلا شافوا زي الحفل الجوائز ناسي إيش كان هو لما ميتاليكا طلعوا مع ليدي غاغا وغنوا
Oh my god, I remember that.
أنا شفت الناس يعني أوكي why they were يعني كانوا بيتهموا إنه ميتاليكا sold out ميتاليكا ما
طلعوا مع ليدي غاغا
عشان طلعوا مع ليدي غاغا يعني كأنه how dare you the greatest band of all time بيطلع مع ليدي غاغا
هذول extremists.
أنا بطلعت طب so what ليدي غاغا طلعت مع ليدي غاغا أصلاً يعني this is one of the informations يعني أو واحدة من الأشياء people do not know about Lady Gaga. She's into metal music. She likes Metallica. حتى ألبوم Iron Maiden The Book of the Souls. She said that إنه ممكن من أول يوم إصدار له سمعت الألبوم على طول. طب what's the problem يعني خلاص.
Post Malone as well. He's a massive
Post Malone, for example,
metal.
Yeah.
He did a song with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take it out.
He plays على فكرة Post Malone I did not listen to him بس شفت له واحد من المقاطع مع ستيفي تي
بيلعب he plays guitar.
He plays well. I've seen the video and he knows what he's talking about. I've seen him pick up a Gibson guitar and go like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yep.
And Fender guitars, and he has quite the collection too.
So I don't see much differences يعني بينه إنه أوكي يعني في different في الجانرز يعني في there's a different way in playing music بس it does not mean إنه والله إنه this genre is better than this genre لا فعليا.
Again, it's just a music style. It doesn't make you who you are.
Yeah.
You can just listen to and play whatever you want, sing whatever you want. It just doesn't define who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a part of defining who you are though.
In which sense?
Right. I don't know where I would be if I didn't listen to metal music.
You will be Abdullah Husseini.
Yeah, I'll be Abdullah Husseini. The name would still be on me, but like my
cool.
No, my character would be different. I think that
because you learned from that.
There are a few elements. Like, I'm sorry, the Sound of Perseverance to this day I still think is by Death is I think still one of the greatest albums. I'll put it up there with Master of Puppets.
For me, it's even better than Master of Puppets.
Yes, but that's because Master of Puppets now, like, it's not that it's outdated. It'll never be outdated.
It would never be.
And neither can the Sound of Perseverance. But it marked a very important part of history in terms of music.
Exactly.
In terms for myself, but also the Sound of Perseverance lyrically. When Chuck Schuldiner would talk about, okay, for example, story to tell. There's always two sides to a story. Always keep an open opinion. Listen to both sides of the perspective and don't judge. Never choose a direction to lean on. Be the middleman always.
تعرف أنا how I see death يعني أنا بالنسبة لي death is the opeth for death metal.
I think they're even bigger than that.
Actually,
death is death metal.
Death metal.
Yeah.
لا يعني لا بس عندك كانبل يعني عارف كانت النظرة تبعت الديث metal تبع Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
اللي هو being gore and the violence الشكل اللي هو الشكل كساوند
it's gore. It's just gore.
It's just gore. بس إنه فعليا أنا بالنسبة أنا بشوف هم opted for the death metal. ما
I get you what you mean.
يعني هذه العبارة اللي أنا قاعد أقولها من سنين وكان نفسي أقولها في البودكاست وأخيرا تحققت. خلاص أنا حقفل التسجيل.
أنا الحين فهمت قصدك.
Yes.
There's a very interesting interview Chuck did. I think it's about 3 minutes long, and it was after the release of Symbolic, I think, or just before the release of Symbolic.
اللي هي إيش حكى فيها.
And people were asking him, it's like you call yourself.
You know about that one?
No. Wait, I do, and they're like
the one he's like,
I like pink roses and kittens and stuff like that.
The thing is, they were asking him, and why did you choose the name Death for the band?
Yeah, that's it. And he's like, it's a way to attract in a way,
and deliver the message.
Yeah, but lyrically, he based it on the concept of like treasuring life and bringing positivity and bringing wisdom into the lyrical aspect of heavy music. Because a lot of the times, okay, it was about, because he's after Metallica, okay? When Metallica and a lot of bands after that, thrash metal bands, which were considered the heaviest thing out there, were just talking about self-struggle and then politics and stuff like that. And it's like, they're not focusing on the important parts
of life
in terms of educating people on positivity and educating them on how to be wisdom, how to grow up. And they realized that a lot of kids, angry teenagers who are growing up confused, broke, hurt, bullied, shunned away from society, they need a path to righteousness.
Yes.
I say this with heavy quotations, by the way. But they need a way to feel inspired when inspiration seems lacking. When families are telling them, that's what the song of The Philosopher is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
انت قاعد بتحكي عم تسمع بقول there's a song
the Philosopher. Yes. I'm sorry, just go listen to The Philosopher, come back and talk to me about it, or talk to Ace or talk to Samah about it, and tell me that you're not going to find
every time I sit with him we discuss about death, he makes me just go makes me want to go and listen to them, and I haven't listened to them in a while.
I'm sorry, everything about them, everything
to me,
about them,
and it was one of my very very top bands. They will always be.
أنا أصلاً يعني one of the things يعني اللي أنا منصدم منه إنه ليش ما في ناس كثير إنه يعني I think there is a lot who loves death بس
they are not over popular.
يعني مو مثلاً زي يعني ما بحب إنه حتى أقام بس مو زي مثلاً ميتاليكا أو مثلاً
It's too heavy for them. It's too complex for them. Because bring in early death until up to Symbolic, where they started to put a lot of more progression into their music. I have literally played albums before Symbolic, like Human. I've played Human to a person, and then I have played a song from The Sound of Perseverance to that same person, and they would choose Human.
Wallah.
And I'm like, why? And they're like, I like how just raw and aggressive it is. And I'm like, okay, that's a fair point.
It's less melodic though.
No, they're not looking for melody. They're just looking for pure aggressiveness. They're looking for pure hardcore death metal. The opening song in Human, lack of comprehension. I don't think it's lack of comprehension.
لا دي هي
But that was my favorite song.
It had like a heavy drum start, like
let me just check for
anyway
song.
They were just looking for that raw human power. And then when The Sound of Perseverance came along, or even Chuck's side project of
Flattering of Emotions.
That was it.
Yes. أنا لخبطت بينها وبين اللي هي lack of comprehension.
Lack of comprehension is a very famous song in Human, but also Flattening of Emotions I find to be a very unique death metal styled song in the album because it's just pure raw.
Chuck Schuldiner أصلاً طريقة عزفه بالجيتار يعني something unique يعني I've never seen it in death metal at all.
يعني his vocals are unique. No one can scream.
By the way, أنتوا لاحظتوا إشي about Chuck's playing طريقته playing الجيتار؟ أنا لإلي كأنه لقيته واحد بيلعب العود ولا كأنه playing Arabic يعني scales.
Yes. Yes.
It's different.
Listen to Voice of Soul immediately. Voice of the Soul. It sounds Arabic. It sounds so unique. And
مش عربي اللي هي إيش بسموها
Pythagorean
Oriental.
Yeah, Oriental. Yeah.
Is it on harmonic minor?
It's not about the
You play
harmonic
it a lot.
minors. I play it a lot, but it's not about harmonic minors or anything. At least to me, it's just voicings, individuals' voicings. You know, you listen to David Gilmour and you know, okay, that's David Gilmour, and you don't even need to see the video or see the song being played to know that it's David Gilmour.
هذا نفس الشيء اللي تكلمنا عنه بالبداية أصلاً.
Yeah.
لو the signature. طيب.
Tone matters in guitar, and Chuck had a very massive tone. And to me, he's
once you switch to it when you are toning and you just go to it, you never want to go to standard or to another tone.
For the longest time, I think for 8 years straight, I never went back to standard. I stayed in drop D standard tuning.
Yes.
Wow.
And to this day, I think one of my other Ibanez guitars is still right now drop D standard.
Wow.
يا أخي التونينج حق death مو طبيعي.
And that's why a lot of death metal bands use it.
You can easily
come
and improvise and play your own stuff using that tone. And you can come up with anything, and it will sound amazing in a ways.
And by the way, standard E is also a very now underrated tuning used in metal. I hear a lot of riffs that were written down in drop C or even 9 strings.
زي مين standard E?
Metallica standard E.
Standard
Metallica,
E. Even Opeth, they had
Opeth is standard E.
Standard E.
Vector even tunes higher.
Wow.
And listen to how heavy they are, and just thrashing out insane guitar solos. Sabbath for a while, standard.
Yeah, for some time.
There are a lot of bands, and it just works. Standard was the original.
غالبا ما تلاقي يعني I think the Europeans or the Swedish bands, melodic death bands, they usually go to
Feared, Ola Englund's band, for example.
I don't think he's playing.
He never plays standard, but he goes drop D standard, C, and then
C
7 strings.
Drop C.
Yeah. Drop C.
Yeah. And then there's Meshuggah.
Okay, for the main topic, to be honest.
هذا كله لسه ما دخلنا المين.
لا أنا لأنه فعليا هذا اللي أنا كده عارف metalheads against metalheads.
40 minutes.
Yeah. لا.
It's an important conversation.
Yeah, metalheads against metalheads.
All right. I'm just gonna grab my shotgun real quick. All right.
Okay. I want to know why. يعني عارف في
ليش تحب سلاير؟ تعال.
أيوة بالضبط إحنا حنستلمك. This okay guys. Okay. No. Guys, you want to see metalheads against metalheads? It starts now. Why Slayer? والله عبد الله بدأ يحمي و.
I have to stretch just in case. Can you grab me that sword just there in the corner,
No.
Listen, I'm already backed up into a corner where I'm sitting right now.
I don't feel comfortable. لا شوف أنا حاشرك في النص. أنا على يسارك وسامح على يمينك. ما أنت شارد اليوم.
Okay. خليني أفسركم. Slayer, to be honest, all of their earlier albums, I was never a big fan of it. Even to this day, I'll listen to it and I'm like, it's not as good as their last album, which was Relentless or something like that.
Relentless.
لا.
Relentless, potato. المهم إنه album لسلاير.
That album is not old. 2010.
It's not old. Where is that playing from?
Sorry.
Hello, I'll get copyright claim.
No. A couple of seconds won't get you that.
Guys, guess a song, please.
يلا.
لا خلي المستمعين هم يقصوا.
I think you can.
It's death. It's obviously death. Leprous.
That album, but
yeah, something.
أشهر أغنية في Leprosy. أشهر أغنية في Leprosy.
Spiritual Healing.
لا, Spiritual. That's another album.
No, I can't remember.
لا Leprosy. Okay, Leprosy مش Spiritual Healing.
Okay, the album. Yeah, the
Relentless. 2015.
Yeah.
طيب.
That album, I don't know why I liked it so much, but I think it was just because of
The main song itself?
No, just the album itself. I can listen to the whole album, no problem.
Okay.
And I think just because the mixing was really good and it was an tone wise, audio engineering wise, Kerry King's tone was nice. With the Marshall amplifier and his BC Rich guitars, okay, it sounded nice.
I think this is why
bassist,
we hate Slayer. لأنه the old albums of what they started with weren't much attractive except for a few songs.
Yeah.
But the general thing يعني مو زي Metallica. You can listen literally to any song in any album. You can love it.
Slayer is
Even
an
to
acquired
Megadeth as
taste.
well.
I'm sorry, but Slayer is an acquired taste. If you guys were telling me that you don't like Slayer, okay, I would completely understand that. But if you guys were to come to me and tell me that you don't like a single song coming out of Metallica, or you don't like Metallica in general, I'll go like, that's a load of horse shit.
Exactly. But I'm saying not the thing because Slayer sounded like that. There are other bands who exactly sound like Slayer.
Anyone can sound like Slayer. Not really. But
really.
Okay.
But there are a lot of bands like they sound like Slayer.
Exodus.
Exodus for example, Creator for example, Sodom for example.
بس شوف أنا I listen to Slayer to be honest. يعني شوف ممكن هي
You asked me the question of why I like Slayer and I couldn't even get into it.
Yes.
Because there is no answer for it.
No, there is an answer for it.
اللي
And
هو
you're asking me what how I got into
Okay,
Slayer.
so you're liking or most likely the latest album.
The latest album I liked. And there are a couple of songs from obviously Rain and Blood or Angel of Death or Seasons of the Abyss. I didn't even like that song.
Hell Awaits.
I didn't even like it.
South of Heaven.
South of Heaven I liked. But all the other songs like okay, they have a lot of albums.
Exactly.
I can't every time and our good friend Anas gave me all of their albums. And individually every time I put shuffle in the car, I shit you not, every third song is just a Slayer song. And I have a lot of albums on my phone.
Wow.
But what about their solos?
Okay, their solos are terrible. There is a couple of them where not Kerry King wrote them. The other guy, Jeff Hanneman wrote them, and bless his soul.
شوف, to be honest,
he did a good job. And then there's the new guitarist as well, who also did a
Gary Holt.
Gary Holt, yeah.
تبع Exodus.
بس a singer تبع Slayer,
Tom
Araya. He has a very unique way in just loud singing. I call it loud singing because it's not screaming.
It's not screaming.
And it's not shouting.
It's very
it's very iconic and it just fits into what Slayer is.
It's rebellious.
And their imagery, okay, sure, the inverted star and the blood and whatever. I don't. They have a unique form that I kind of like.
I think يعني بالنسبة لي إنه بشوف سلاير يعني أحسن حاجة طلعت منهم بصراحة ديف لامباردو وجيف هانمان.
والله شوف, you can't say Kerry King sucks برضو. يعني
Kerry
his riffs
King
are
Kerry
iconic.
معلش. Sucks.
Kerry King can write some damn good riffs.
هو رفاته مو طبيعي.
By the way, his tone with the Marshall amp.
بس don't let him solo.
Yeah, Kerry King solo, forget it. But Kerry King can write some riffs. He's not a great lead guitarist. But as a riff guy, I would get him in a band. Personally, I would get him in a band.
Kerry King.
رفاته مجنون. حتى ترى توم أرايا يعني as a singer ترى he's very unique.
His Tom Araya's pacing in terms of bass and vocals, and I want to throw Kerry King into this mix as well. Kerry King knows how to pace a song because he can start off all groovy and stuff, and the whole first half of the song can be groovy, and then it just slams into blast beats and fast pacing, and I'm like, that is how you pace a song, because it's a build up, or you start off fast and then groove.
Okay.
And Pantera followed that.
I noticed that يعني حتى شفت بانتيرا إنه أخذوا من نهج تبع سلاير.
Yeah.
يعني I think إنه سلاير يعني برغم إنه I'm not a fan of them بس if you ask me إنه they are influence.
Yeah. يعني they're a huge influence.
يعني حتى I think إنه ألبومهم اللي هو I think South of Heaven كان هو الأول ألبوم اللي هو أنا حتى سألت بن أنا في الحلقة تبعت الثراش ميتال لما تكلمت معه بقول لي إنه اللي هي الزيرو 1 هذه I don't understand but I'm not a musician بقول لي إنه this
no that's the gent writing which is 1010.
Yeah, اللي هي
10.
ching 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 or something like that.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum,
But,
bum,
yes.
bum, 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 bum. That's mainly gent, to be honest, and a
Uh,
lot of metalcore songs
I
follow
think
within
إنه
that.
that's the thing that influenced many bands for
The gent من الثراش يعني.
not gent, but I think إنه كان واحد من influences for death metal. كان واحد من influences for death metal. I'm not pretty sure about that. يعني سيبك من possessed أغنيتهم death metal يعني واحدة من كانت من influences, but إنه في ناس إنه بسلاير أثرت على death metal, بس I'm not pretty sure about that. أنا اللي بعرف إنه أثروا كثير على thrash metal bands, but for death metal أنا هذا السؤال اللي كنت بدي
Well, they
أسأله.
were a part of the big four, and we can't forget the big four who were Anthrax, Metallica,
لا
Megadeth.
في لا
and
أنثراكس
Slayer.
نسينا إحنا بصراحة.
They're still a part of the big four, whether you like them or not. Okay.
لا هذه على فكرة واحدة من الأشياء اللي أنا بحسها مطلوبة. هذه واحدة من الأشياء النقاشات مع الميتال هيدز.
ليش
الargument
is part of that.
لا الarguments about the bands, the arguments between the metal heads about the, يعني مثلا Metallica versus Megadeth, that's a part. في part اللي هو البيج فور. يعني حتى في من النقاشات اللي أنا شفتها إنه who would you kick out of the big four and replace it with a band. يعني مثلا واحدة من الأشياء اللي شفتها بقول I would kick out Metallica and bring Exodus and the big four.
That's an
مثلا
interesting debate.
Exodus, Testament.
yes. في واحدة من الأشياء في واحدة من اللي شفتها كمان إنه
You know, Kirk Hammett used to play with, I think, Exodus.
Exodus, yeah.
right?
Kirk Hammett was a part of Exodus, by
Yeah.
the way.
He was with Exodus before he replaced Dave Mustaine.
بعدين Kirk Hammett على فكرة Kirk Hammett played the guitar at Exodus' latest album على فكرة اللي هو Soul the Wand.
كان في له واو واو واو.
Yes, الواو
في Exodus.
I swear he single-handedly ruined the wah pedal for me besides Zach Wild.
شوف, you know what? This is one of the arguments we want to talk about اللي هي عن Metallica and the band members of Metallica. I think they all sucks, but when they are together they form like
شوف James Hetfield doesn't suck.
James Hetfield.
هو الوحيد.
James Hetfield doesn't
هو
suck.
الوحيد.
Wait. And by the way, Robert
مات.
Trujillo.
استنى لا.
Robert هذا معلش.
Robert Trujillo is a phenomenal. You know, he was playing with Ozzy Osbourne before he went to Metallica.
والله.
Yes.
Yeah.
On which band?
Ozzy Osbourne.
مع
His own.
مع Zach Wild.
Yeah, with Zach Wild.
أيام Zach Wild ولا أيام اللي قبله؟
أيام Zach Wild. Robert Trujillo was there.
والله.
Yeah,
I thought
man.
he was young.
He was very young, and he's a really good bassist. And if you've seen his fingers at work, man, he's.
كباب يخرب بيته.
I think إنه هذه واحدة من الأشياء في conflicts between metalheads اللي هي about arguments about the bands. يعني if you don't
لأنه ما تعرف.
Listen, if we were to sit down and have a really massive discussion and destruction, and I'm thinking hardwired to self-destruct right now.
Wow.
And single-handedly just pick off every member of Metallica and dissect them and tell them what's good about them. I think that defeats the purpose of what brings metalheads against one another, because what brings metalheads one another is obviously the different beliefs of genres. It's not bands. It's not bands, it's genres.
Bands and genres, والله both. To be honest.
To be frank.
أيوة.
I've traveled quite a bit, and I've met a lot of people at concerts, and I've seen a lot of interviews and discussions. And the most thing I see that people fight about is not bands, it's genres. Because, all right, think of it this way. We have a friend who listens to metalcore or In Flames.
Who is that?
I don't know, you tell me. But anyway, everyone's crying right now.
أنت بتقول لي ما في فايدات بكفي In Flames.
But metalcore.
Why do you even have to bring their name in the podcast? That's a downgrade.
In Flames, if you listen to this podcast, please return to IKEA for your work.
Okay. Once upon a time ago, before In Flames was ruined for us, we all used to listen to In Flames. We have to be fair, and we have to give them the credit. In Flames, once upon a time ago, before people have ruined it, disclaimer.
Yes.
Was a good band to us.
Yeah.
Was one of the greatest.
Yeah. And by the way, if a certain individual or a couple of individuals didn't ruin it for us, we would still be listening to them.
Yeah, that was a good part for it. لأنه that goes back to the old part of the society and how people accept and how they deal with the bands. يعني أنت ممكن تحب شيء بس تكرهه بسبب الناس.
Well, extremists are the ones.
Including metal itself as a genre. يعني أعرف ناس أنا they used to listen to metal عادي casually, but من كثر ما الناس والمتهيئين والposers and how they make you غصبا عنك you start hating it. خلاص I don't want to listen to this anymore.
That's one of the part. I don't like Slayer, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's not. I don't
overhype.
لا, I do not. It's not about the band. It's about the fans.
The fans.
لأنه بصراحة يعني did you listen to Slayer? يعني someone approached me and you like metal and stuff. You listen to Slayer? No, actually I did not listen to them yet. Maybe I wasn't yet, or I wasn't into extreme metal back then. I was like into Metallica, System of a Down, or Linkin Park, Green Day, like punk rock or something like that. I told him no, I did not listen to Slayer. You're a poser. You do not listen to metal. You didn't like it. How you can? I say what?
Put this guy in a corner and lock him up in a jail cell for all I care. But until you brought up a really good point, which is I have had alhamdulillah with the friends I have yani, and we all have showed music to each other, bands we have never heard of before, and never once did I feel like I had to shove a band down someone's throat, or they would shove or tie me down to a chair and make me listen to a certain album over and over and over again. That's and you're right about that part. It's when you know you're riding in the car with someone and they never change a certain album or a certain song, couple of songs, and you get sick of it. Because when you find a band and you start listening to them, you listen to them to the point where it's like, okay, you know what, I think I can move on to something else for now.
True.
And then there's the concept of people approaching you with a certain ideology of a band, and they're going like, Slayer's the best band on the world, Slayer's the best band on the world, and they'll slap you in the face a couple of times with that truth. And you say, okay, sure, I respect them for, and this is my approach to it. If someone was to come talk to me and say whoever is the best band in the world, I'll say, I respect your opinion, and I do respect the band, that they have pushed the industry to a certain extent, but I'm not going to say they're the best in the world, and I'm not going to have them on repeat for a while. I've said The Sound of Perseverance was the best album for me, one of the best albums I've ever listened to. It's not
the best.
Master of Puppets as well. I had that song on repeat for a year when I was at a very young age. But did I ever
saw them as the top or number one?
Yeah, and I praised them to the point where nothing else can come close to them? No. And do I listen to new bands and go like, oh, I'm looking for the new Sound of Perseverance or the new Master of Puppets? No. Whatever anyone does, whatever anyone publishes as an artist is coming from them. You know, you cannot compare. You can compare an album from the same band.
True.
But you, like Gojira, like the recent album Magma, in comparison to L'Enfant Sauvage, which was nothing in comparison to L'Enfant Sauvage.
To any other previous album.
To any other previous album. Magma was so weak.
Yes.
Tone-wise, vocal-wise.
Magma was great, but
it was very mainstreamish, the sound. It's not like Gojira.
It was Metallica's Black Album.
Thank you.
It didn't sound like Gojira.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
And by the way, and you guys can disagree with me on this, there was nothing wrong with the Black Album.
No, I don't agree.
No.
And there was nothing wrong with Saint Anger.
No, everything is wrong with Saint Anger.
No.
Either you like it or not.
Saint Anger. يلا هات ألبوم الطناجر هذا مسمينه.
Okay, Lars needs to go.
اسمع. Beside the part of the drumming, the whole song, يعني Saint Anger itself.
I liked it.
I literally, you spent 1 year on Master Puppets. I spent more than 1 year listening to Saint Anger, the main song itself. I try to digest it as much as I can. I listen to it
Saint Anger is
every day.
Saint Anger is not a great song. It's not a great song.
I know.
There are other great songs in that album.
I think Another Kind of Monster كانت في
some kind of monster is unnecessarily long.
شوف
I will break apart that album so damn hard. But there are some great riffs, and the lyrics that James wrote, I think, is probably the best writing he has ever done.
I think the riffs were great. Maybe they were great. I tried to listen to the album, بس عارف اللي خلاص I reached into the point. I literally, it's not for me. I cannot listen to.
I can understand that.
Death Magnetic was perfect.
خرافي كان.
Was perfect.
كان
Literally,
خرافي.
it was perfect.
2008, we were waiting for anything by Metallica. Suddenly, a new album with Unforgiven Part 3.
Death Magnetic,
It was,
I found it to be the most annoying tone that
Wow.
I've heard from Metallica.
wow. Okay.
It was so punchy that when what was the song with the clean parts in it? Not Unforgiven 3. The Day That Never Comes.
The Day That Never Comes.
James' clean tone was perfect.
Hmm.
But the moment the distortion
Yes,
came
yes,
in,
I agree.
هيك كفين على خلقتي وداني
The
للقمر.
first 4
يعني-
minutes of the song was perfect.
Yeah.
The start of the song, because it sounded different. Like it sounded like the Black Album somehow. It took that sound
But
at first.
the Black Album, you heard the Unforgiven.
Mm.
We all have heard the Unforgiven.
Yes.
The transition from the classical guitar part at the start to the
heavy
verse
part.
to the verse, and then
To the
from the
solo.
verse to the chorus. It flowed, and at the chorus it was clean guitars. It wasn't a classical guitar.
Yes.
At the start of the song, it was a classical guitar, and somehow
The verse was heavy.
it fit. It blended in perfectly. Hardwired to self-destruct that entire album.
Mm.
I went and bought it. I've listened to it on vinyl. I've listened to it with proper audio engineering headphones. And I can tell you, it's the same mix in Death Magnetic. They have literally changed zero.
Wallah?
Wow.
But at least it was trashy.
It was thrashy, not thrashy enough.
Not
Thrash elements, but not
There were
Yeah,
thrashy
but
elements,
was
like
still heavy-
Hardwired and Halo on Fire had a really nice Atlas Rise as well. But all the other songs in it, it's like, James, you are known for your down picking. And there are so many riffs. As a guitarist, by the way, I would just like I'll play the exact same riff on the guitar because I can pick up on elements, like because I play on standard now. My only guitar I have here is on standard. And I'm listening to a couple of songs. I'm like, James, you could have totally downpicked this, and Lars, you could have played faster, and that could have changed the entire song.
Wallahi, that's a really great point, to be honest, and I've never thought of it.
Yeah.
Maybe age plays some role there.
Speaking,
Screw age.
Wallah.
Screw age. I'm
yes,
sorry. Look at Iron Maiden. Look at Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. Those guys are
Yeah, they're even older.
Aussies around what, 60 something or 70?
66, something like that. Yeah.
David Gilmour's hit 70.
Yeah.
He doesn't play fast. David Gilmour doesn't play fast, but man,
Tony
he can
Iommi
keep
is
his
even
song.
older.
No, Tony Iommi is younger.
Tony Iommi is
Tony Iommi's
50s.
way,
Wow.
no, not 50s, 60s.
60s.
He's in
Late,
his 60s.
I think in 58.
He's younger than Ozzy, I think.
Anyway, the argument I wanted to make for Saint Anger, just going back to that real quickly. If you were to take a lot of the popularized songs that came out of Saint Anger, like Frantic, Saint Anger, Some Kind of Monster, I would tell you some of those songs are great. Frantic is actually kind of a groovy song. It's actually pretty
Frantic
groovy.
was unique.
I think انه Metallica اللي حاولت تعمل في Saint Anger انه like blending into new metal.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
يعني
No,
بصراحة
they started
you should
blending
wa-
into new metal even earlier than that.
Yeah.
There are like a couple of albums, like 4 or 5 or 5 albums.
No, that
from
was
the Black
that was
La, la,
their
la.
experimental stage. They were
Exactly.
experimenting,
in the 2000s.
and they
in the first 2000s.
what led to Saint Anger was because they were experimenting for so long, and they wanted to move away from thrash metal. Look at any interview of James making right now. Excuse me. He would say that, yeah, we're a lot less angry now. I'm like, hold on. James, give me the microphone.
wow.
Slipknot still sounds like the most angry band I have ever heard of.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Their riffs, Mick Thompson, Corey Taylor, okay, he sounds different, but that's just in the mixing process. And I still think that to this day, one of the two most violent albums that came out of Slipknot is
Iowa.
Volume 3 and Iowa.
Iowa. Ooh.
Iowa is so goddamn violent, and Volume 3 is probably one of the
I've-
darkest albums I've ever listened to.
I've seen. I think what got me really into Slipknot when I saw their live performance of Disaster Piece in London. Once I saw that,
I don't think, besides Alice Cooper
Mm,
and besides Iron Maiden as well, with some of the theatrics that they do on stage,
mm.
like Dance of Death, is it called? Or Dance of the Dead, or something
Dance
like
of
that.
Death.
Yeah, Dance of Death.
Mm.
Slipknot has probably the best unique stage appearances in the world, and they took the world by surprise.
Mm.
It was one of the first bands coming out
With masks.
with masks, and they were just running
Along,
around.
I think this is one of also of the arguments.
Don't say
Ye-
Mushroom Head.
I hate that argument. I hate it so much. I really.
There's that argument as well.
Yes. there's-
Mushroom Head versus Slipknot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate it. مع إنه ما في شبه. I don't see يعني ما في comparison يعني Slipknot
Just the
ومشروم.
appearance.
No, not about less appearance. حتى في الميوزك نفسها.
Yeah, they're different.
Totally different يعني
Totally different.
يعني بتحس إنه Mushroom Head they are like a little bit more industrial.
They are industrial. Like, I'm sorry, it's just corn with Slipknot elements.
Exactly.
And by the way, they do it well. I listen to Mushroom Head and I like them.
They are good. Mushroom Head بس عارف they are not memorable as Slipknot.
No, I'm sorry, they're not.
They are not memorable. يعني حتى أصلا نزلوا ألبوم جديد اللي هو Life is Beautiful أو The Beautiful Life. I cannot even recall the name of the album لمشروم Head. يعني عارف I listened to it like couple times then I ditched it out.
Yeah.
خلاص. يعني ما هو زي يعني أوكي Slipknot آخر ألبوم لأنه We Are Not Your Kind ما هو it's not like the previous albums بس
And
إنه
I didn't have the time to actually listen to the
We Are
full
Not Your
album. We Are Not Your Kind.
it was good بس برضو ما كان memorable بس يعني let's compare like Slipknot and Mushroom Head from their like previous albums or their best albums or their best work so far. I think Slipknot is the most memorable one.
Yeah.
يعني Mushroom Head I think
I'm sorry, Slipknot is coming to a point where they're about to hit Metallica.
yes
Like they're about to bar them off because Slipknot has done something that no other band was doing. There are 9 people in a band. They have a DJ, they have a keyboardist. They use unique elements of sounds to go together. Sonically, they are thunderous. They are the Tyrannosaurus of guitar tones to me. Besides Chuck Schuldiner, who I think has a very iconic tone, Mick Thompson is another guitar hero of mine. Because this guy knows how to make a good punchy tone. This guy dissects every element of his gear and he knows everything inside and out. In comparison to, say, James Hetfield, where I look at James Hetfield's gear and a lot of the interviews of other bands, the guitarists themselves don't even come out and go like, yeah, this is why I put this pickup or this string or this particular tube in the amplifier or this speaker. Mick Thompson is down to the wire.
wow
Down to the pick, down to the guitar string, down to anything. And Mick knows what he's talking about. Signature amplifiers. How do they work? An amplification company would come to the guitar player, or the guitar player would go to the amplification company and they would go like, I like this, but make it more unique.
okay
But
you got me there. Okay,
yeah, but Mick or other really guitar nerds, that's what we call them. They'll go in and go like, nah, I noticed that this component is different and I want you to change out this component with a different component, different power source with this, get rid of the mid section, put this instead. And Dimebag did that. Mick Thompson does that. Chuck never got to that stage, sadly. I don't know about Kirk Hammett. But there is very few. No, but by the way, I have to respect Kirk. Because tone-wise, his amplifier, I have tried it in real life. It is actually pretty good.
والله
Yeah, it is. It is good. Ola Englund is another guy. He's a very famous YouTuber right now. I've watched him for 12 years, which is when he first started YouTube, and I followed him then, and I've seen all the gear he has tested.
Wow.
And I have to say his tone now is absolutely phenomenal. He defined a new stage of metal tone. And I'm sorry, he's not at godlike status. And even his guitar playing, like, he's a great guitarist. But eventually he'll get up to a point where he's going to be absolutely amazing. Will he be up to Dimebag standards? Maybe.
Okay.
But it's all in their tone. And that's what, to me, makes an album. It's not just about the energy of the band itself. It's tone. How does everyone's tone fit together to make that album work?
I think this is one of the points. I don't think that a lot of metalheads will discuss about metal or the structure of the music, how it built. ما بشوف إنه مثلا في argument والله عارف there are some facts in building the music, the sound of it. I'm shocked لما حكيت عن Mick Thompson and he is connected with the companies. This is.
That's why, like, again, when I look at Slipknot and I look at Jim Root, who's the other guitarist of Slipknot, and then I look at Mick Thompson.
Oh.
They both complement each other in tone so well, because Mick Thompson has this thin but bitey tone to it, and then here comes Jim Root with the heavy bassier element of that tone, and then you listen to it on left and right speaker in the mix, and you just see how it fits, where Mick kind of introduces the riff, and then Jim comes in with the extra support of the bassy riff, like in Pulse of the Maggots or The Nameless or Sick.
هذه واحدة من الارجيومنتس اللي كانوا الناس also بصراحة اللي كانوا بتأثروا على إنه Slipknot is not a metal band. To be honest, I found some people they say Slipknot is not heavy, Slipknot is not metal, Slipknot. I say what are they then? Are they فعليا are they I don't even know what to say.
They're not even new metal. They can't be classified as new metal. They can't be classified as thrash either.
They are groovy. Maybe there is a groove.
Thrash groove. Another massive subsection of different commas and words and whatever.
This is one also one of the arguments that metalheads would argue about subgenres. I think one of the main things that a lot of metalheads fight about is the core.
Yeah.
Metalcore, deathcore, new metal, hard rock, I think, punk. أنا مستغرب why would people fight over metalcore? What's wrong with metalcore? I cannot find a specific reason for fighting over metalcore. There are
they whine too much.
Exactly. The whole thing is about
they whine too much. They cry
style.
too much.
Everyone plays whatever they like, and everything is in a way coming from a core itself. حتى metalcore أساسا generally how the riff is written.
Nobody likes a complainer. Nobody likes a whiner. Nobody has time for it.
You mean metalcore bands usually are whining?
No, not just metalcore bands. Like anyone who's just gonna whine and complain that
the scream.
Yeah, we're the main core element of metal and whatever. It's like, yeah, sure, man. Just take your opinion, take it somewhere else.
لا فعليا عارف إنه I even listen to metalcore. عارف أنا أصلا بالبداية أنا كيف عرفت الميتالكور؟ برضو one of the elitists was fighting against metalcore and say it's shitty, it's I don't know what they call it. So what's wrong with metalcore? I checked some bands that metalcore like Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive. I listened to the music and I told myself, but this is good. What's wrong with it?
Exactly. There is nothing to hate.
They hate. No, you know what they hate? Just the core, the name core. They say it's not.
Core can mean many things.
It's called metalcore. It's not metal. There is a difference between metal and metalcore.
عشان كده نرجع لنفس البوينت حقت أول. They're all just genres. Just listen to whatever you want, play whatever you want.
Deathcore is not metal. Deathcore is not metal. Metalcore is not metal. New metal is not metal. Heavy metal is not metal. فعليا أنا
let's take deathcore for example. Bring Me the Horizon. they started as a deathcore band. Now they are pop.
والله حتى بدايتهم ما كانت ديثكور بصراحة يعني ولا تزعل مني.
أنا ما أحبهم.
Guys, I don't like seriously. I don't like.
I like them now as a pop band. ترى they have turned into something good. يعني زمان كانوا إذا كانوا يعتبروا الكور ميتال ولا مدري دحين they are not even metal at all. They're not even rock. صار pop. It sounds even better. يعني في النهاية it's how it sounds, how they can make it sound like. It doesn't matter which the genre is.
I think this is one of the unique things about Bring Me the Horizon. إنه there is a change from the beginning of their career إلى الوقت إلى until يعني in the meantime.
أسوي transition غريب. يعني
weird.
من شيء اللي مختلف تماما لشيء الآن أنت تشوفه يعني إيش كانوا إيش صاروا. in they still okay ما بقول they still أول أنا ما كانوا يجيبوا أيام الديثكور no way
لا ديثكور ولا حاليا.
لا أنا حاليا بسمعهم يعني their songs are catchy. يعني في الألبوم اللي هو اسمه That's the Spirit حق الأمبريلا ده هذا والله جات فترة أنا on repeat the whole album no regrets.
Okay.
The album is so good.
I want to bring up another debate but I think you're just gonna get a heart attack if I do.
Say it.
Trivium.
إيش بام Trivium?
Post Shogun albums.
لا شوف مو post Shogun album. Anything other than Shogun. Okay. I like the old ones.
What about In Waves? In Waves wasn't too bad.
I love every Trivium album. Okay.
ما
عدا Silence in the Snow.
اللي هو شو اسمه yeah I know.
It's the white album.
It's the weakest
the white album.
The white album. The white album.
It's the weakest album by Trivium. Sin of the Sentence. It's a new album.
That was a.
But it's hugely heavy and يعني قوي. Album مرة قوي.
تعرف this
آخر
to
واحد.
me goes back to tone.
Yes, but now they're switched off. They're not back to
what the Dead Men Say. I listened to it.
الأغنية نفسها ولا الألبوم؟
لا the entire album. I listened to it like.
الألبوم يعني I have mixed feelings about it صراحة. لأنه في some songs are even to the يعني they sound like Ascendancy.
Ascendancy.
The Defiant.
The Defiant.
The Defiant
sounds like Ascendancy. أنا جننت
I have that thing on my playlist and it's been on repeat for a while. And the solo.
Same.
And the solo to that's classic Matt
Exactly. Why doesn't the whole album sound like that?
على فكرة أنا أحكي لك شغلة على ألبوم Trivium. All the songs they produced يعني قبل ما ينزل الألبوم كامل. I'm sorry, they are all. I like none of them. بس لما سمعت الألبوم
أيوة
في أغاني أحلى.
الأغاني اللي نزلوها كسينجلز في البداية كلها ما عجبتني. What the Dead Man Say والثانية اللي قبلها كانت إيش كان اسمها؟
Catastrophist. وكمان ودد Catastrophist وفي أغنية ثالثة كمان في اللي هي اللي نزلوها للإعلان تبع شخصية سبون في Mortal Kombat 11 اللي هي Scattering the Ashes.
هذه كانت حلوة.
الرفات كانت حلوة بس هي كانت
نوعا ما ذكرتني يعني بإن ويفز شوية.
في عندك اللي هي اللي عجبتني Sickness Unto You Defiant
هي أحلى واحدة. Sickness Unto You ما مرة يعني بس يعني Bleed Into Me.
بس سؤال هون طب اسمع هون في شغلة كمان بنتكلم عنها. Trivium is considered metalcore.
No.
Is it considered?
إيش يعني Trivium؟
إيش
يعني Trivium؟
مش مالهم Trivium.
طيب Trivium هم they يعني found even the name من their genre or their core. هم دحين يعني they have
they
many
kind of
elements.
started off death metal. Like before Ember to Inferno.
Thrash.
They sounded
started
like
as thrash. The second album شو اسمه The Crusader.
No, I'm not talking about the Crusades. I'm talking about
Ember to Inferno.
Before Ember to Inferno, there was an album.
It was melodic death somehow.
It was exactly. That's what I was trying to say. It was melodic death, and then eventually it transitioned to a more thrash.
What does Trivium mean?
I don't know.
Trivium means I think in the vocabularies and such it's a normal word. It means يعني the mixed three arts. خلاص.
Interesting.
Okay, and that defines the melodic death, thrash metal, and metalcore. Okay, they have those elements inside their songs, including heavy metal sometimes, of course. فعشان هيك هو their songs يعني have these three elements. عشان هيك I can't define which genre they are, except for some albums like In Waves. It's purely metalcore مثلا يعني.
Yeah.
But Shogun is mixed. Shogun has melodic death riffs, it has thrash riffs,
It had everything.
it has
even country.
literally everything.
Yeah.
The Crusades was completely thrash metal.
Yeah.
Thrash metal.
I think أنا هلا فاتح عندي في encyclopedia metalum أصلا trivium أول حاجة كاتب لي إياها بوجهي metal core. It's a metal core.
Interesting.
Generally they are a metalcore band. Generally, but بس أنت بتسمع أغانيهم they have everything. في thrash, obvious thrash. مرة clearly
هون
thrash.
I want to prove a point إنه does not mean إنه that's core يعني إنه it's يعني ما عندهم elements يعني for other genres.
Exactly. يا عمي في يعني Trivium يعني من الباندات اللي they openly influenced by other bands by Dimebag, by Metallica, by
Iron
Death.
Maiden.
يا عمي في literally في Death riff موجود في one of Trivium song. كده copy paste.
اللي هو
Symbolic.
لا إيش الأغنية؟
كريستيجو من
كريستيجو من
اللي في شوغن في ريف كده ماخوذ محطوط حط من ماخوذ من سيمبوليك كده كوبي بيست.
You're right.
محطوط حط في شوغن.
He's just mind blown right now.
والغنية دي كريستيجو من غنية هيفي مجنونة، غنية قوية، غنية جابانيز هيستوري. حاطين الريف حق سيمبوليك نفسه كده زي ما هو. انا زمان ما كنت يعني اسمع ديث، لما سمعت الاغنيه حق ديث سيمبوليك ودخلت في ديث زي الناس تعرف انا احبهم من زمان مره، فدخلت في ديث بعد. فلما صرت اسمع ديث يا اخي everything Trivium is playing is influenced by Death and Metallica, Megadeth,
Iron Maiden,
In Flames. مره يحبوا In Flames. They're heavily influenced by In Flames.
I saw them both in the same concert.
Yep.
Yeah. Back in 2014.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Wow. Do you have any other comments regarding like
I think that was the last of my remarks honestly.
يعني شوف I think الميتالهيدز يعني بالargument اللي بينهم يعني على السب جانرز الباندز I think it's all
يا اخي والله it's all يعني
pointless يعني بصراحة. يعني شوف بالنهاية we are all part of يعني
we're one big happy family.
Yeah, I would say similar to that, but not in that way يعني. يعني عارف أنا حتى وصلت لمرحلة على الجانرز إنه خلاص صرت بقول it's metal خلاص it's metal. What's the genre خلاص.
يا أخي it's music.
اسمع زي
it's music.
اسمع.
ليش برضو it's metal؟
لا يعني لا إنه to be specified يعني يعني اسمه just to call the name يعني. بس calling the name. بس calling the name that's it يعني. زي في باند كنت بسمع اسمها نيو اوبليفسكارس.
اخي خرافيين.
I like them.
عارف ايش
any Australian band is
technically I only like one song which is Forget Not. It's just it's lovely.
لا انت
straight up.
لا تعرف
go deeper in them. يعني you're missing out.
Yeah I will. It's just taking quite a bit of time.
لا انت عارف حتى اصلا هيك كنت بطلب بقول يلا ميلوديك ديث باند.
اي ميلوديك ديث.
المهم
والله ما انت عارف.
لا استنى انت عارف انا كده اول ما سمعتهم ساعتين كده ركزت شويه اوكي لا مو هم
في
عارف
بروج.
في
ميلوديك ديث وفي شويه جنت شويه
لحسه جنت كده
لحظه بس اكثر شيء بروج او ميلوديك ديث.
ما انا بقول لك يلا ميلوديك ديث لا اوكي لا هم بروجريسيف لا في شيء كذا
وفايلن شويه الفايلن مو شويه كثير.
هو اصلا فعليا انت عارف الليدز اللي both lead singers بصراحه عارف لما طلعت فيهم قاعد اقول oh my god Jesus and Satan on one stage literally والله ما بمزح اللي بيعزف على الفايلنس.
No that to me is Opeth. That's Opeth
in one guy.
in one guy. Just cut him in half and
wow.
I miss the old Opeth.
Wow. فالله يعطيكم العافية شباب. Thank you for recording with us and أعزائنا المستمعين أعطونا رأيكم وتضاربوا معنا لو سمحتوا. أنا بصراحة أنا عامل الحلقة هذه بس كده أبغى أتضارب يعني مع ناس معينة يعني كده.
Thanks for having me by the way. I really appreciate it.
والله I enjoyed بصراحة يعني أنا حجيبك الجلسة الجاية إن شاء الله. أنا راح أخليك تعمل الانترو تبعت البودكاست في يوم ما إن شاء الله.
زي ما شفت عبد الله is well informed يعني.
thank you والله عبد الله يعني it was pleasure يعني having you with us في البودكاست يعني بصراحة it was well informative يعني وفي أشياء كثير يعني أنا انصدمت من المعلومات اللي أنت بتحكي لي عنها يعني أنا I've never seen someone يعني so obsessed into this music يعني لدرجة إنه يعني درجة ما
فيها.
yes يعني some people would come يعني yeah we listen to طب أوكي يعني I'm not really a musician but I think I pick up few things بس لا زيك ما شاء الله تبارك الله يعني ما حافظ يعني
it's just a character trait يعني I've learned to live with it, or if I like something I want to figure out all the nitty bits and grits of it. That's really thank you for the kind words, and
والله thank you.
I'll most love to come back.
انا حخلي الليسنرز بس يصيروا يطلبوك عارف كده عشان
لا
عشان كده نسحبك.
don't demand from me, don't I have enough demand the way it is.
وسموحة حبيبي سموحة يا حبيبي. والله الله يعطيكم العافية.
He is face palming right now. If he face palmed right now he'd destroy the mic.
he face palm يعني من الحلقة اللي فاتت يعني عارف تخيل بداية الحلقة على طول لا عارف بداية الحلقة ومعايا سموحة على طول عارف.
والله هو كان ناقص واحد ولكنه سحيب كالعادة.
لا ما تخاف انا ما فيها شيء بس اشتركت شويه. يعطيكم العافيه. اذا عجبتكم الحلقه شير لايك سبسكرايب اعطونا تعليقاتكم ويعطيكم العافيه ونشوفكم على خير وسيا.